Hi everybody, it's Adrian Ortiz, Remember to Shine. Thanks for shopping, thanks for watching, thanks for picking up what I'm putting down. A lot of lessons that I learned on my cross-country bike ride with my dog. I could never leave my dog out. He was one of the main lessons, one of the main teachers, like my furry little Buddha, always with me, always looking up to me and telling me, I need to pee, or I'm hungry, or you're the best human in the world. I just dug it. But Ferris also taught me some interesting things. Now on your bike ride, you're always going through small little towns. And what I learned was that in every small town, there was always a loose dog. So it was a routine that you got into on this bike ride. You would, you had the maps and you would designate where you were going to start for what day. I'll be honest, these rocks are fucking hurting my butt. But we're going to stick through this because whatever doesn't break you will make you stronger, right? So look at me turning into He-Man right now. I have the power. So you would map out where you're going to be. You would know what town was going to have water, what town was going to have food, and you can kind of break up your day. The maps are easy to find. Adventure Cycling, big fan of that place. Gave you all the maps to go anywhere you want all over the world. I'd like to go from the east coast of Washington to New York. You call me, we'll go. You might have to pay though. Haven't found a job after this bike ride. Anyway, I digress. And along these routes, some of the towns would be just little blips, and it would say, oh, I have like one general store and there might be water in there. So during the day, the routine was you wake up, you get on the road, you get the food you need, and then you'd make it to these various spots. And depending on where you were in the town or how fast I was going, Ferris could either be in the chariot or out of the chariot. To be honest, Ferris really liked to be out of the chariot. That guy was a beast. Started out doing 5 miles an hour for like maybe a quarter mile, getting up to 8 miles an hour for a half a mile to a mile, all the way up to 13 miles an hour. That guy would haul ass. Tongue out, happy to be chasing the future for all I know. Because he'd look and he'd be like, is this all we got? You got any more, human? So when you come into these small towns, and I mean small, like dilapidated building, fixed up building, maybe a couple good buildings, and then back to dilapidation. And there were always fences in yards that were never open. And mind you, when you are in a small town in Arizona that has no shade except a tree in the backyard that Jed and Suzanne are breeding pit bulls and chow puppies so that they can pay for their diapers and just happen to not be able to afford a goddamn lock. I'm telling you what, guys, you're biking down a road and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get some water, and you're like looking at Ferris outside of the chariot, and you see this Cujo looking dog that lost his ball, and Ferris looks like his next chew toy. That fucker makes a beeline to you. You're like, what am I gonna do? You're like, can I outrun it? Can I somehow scoop down and grab Ferris and shift into high gear and get out of there with my doggy? No, man, you gotta like stop with the dog and the chain you're hoping. It's calamity every time you'd hit these small towns, man. And sometimes the dog was there, and sometimes it wasn't. But when the dog was there, you had to be prepared. And it was interesting. I'll give you a little digress. This is how it would work. If the dog was across the street and I didn't have enough time to get Ferris out, we would start going a little faster and a little faster. And the dogs are smart, man. I remember this mangy looking red chow with that dark red purple tongue coming out there like, I can't wait to chew on your balls. Comes barreling across the street. Ferris and I are running, and this is what it would work. They'd try to cut you off, and at the last minute, I'd be like, hey! And the dog would freeze. Just long enough to let Ferris and I cruise by to safety. Because once that dog slowed down, He's not going to catch Ferris and I turbo and jetpack. Hell no. But these stressed me out. And I felt like it was better to just be prepared when I got into these small towns. And you knew it was a small town. You look around, start seeing the trappings of this small town, start seeing the homes, everything that looks like there might be a loose dog in this town. So, it's better to be prepared. It's better to just stop before you get into the small town. Hunker your crap down. Throw your dog in the back. Oh, I love you anyway, Rock. And put the dog in the back so that when that dog does come, you can shift back into gear and get out. There's no problems. Well, less of a problem. I mean, isn't this the life lesson? Sometimes we're cruising along with me and all your friends, and we're all hanging out, and then we decide that we're going to do some sketchy stuff. Jump off of a bridge where we don't really know how shallow it is, or drive too fast in an area that we probably shouldn't, or hanging out with people that might turn on us because we think we're safe, because we forget that there is a loose dog out there dying to remind us to keep your shit in check. You know, there's a proverb I heard one time, and it says, tie your camel first, but also, I blew it, it's put your faith in the Lord, but tie your camel first. And this is what I'm trying to say. When you're in new situations, when you're in places that you are unaware, when you are in an area that you are vulnerable, prepare yourself, because there's a loose dog out there. There is something out there that wants to come and take a bite out of your ass, to remind you to stay focused on your goals, to stay focused on what you're doing, to stay focused on where you're going and your surroundings. The cat never lets the mouse away. It never gives it a pass. It always reminds. That dog always reminds you to keep it on lock. Keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention in life. Prepare for it. Don't take these dumb little risks unless the risk has a big payoff. Drugs. I could go on and on about the little risks that we take that we shouldn't. And that white dog, or that wild dog come up and bite your ass. Well, all of a sudden you're a drug addict. Well, all of a sudden you got a DUI. Well, all of a sudden you're in jail. Well, friends, prepare yourself. There's a dog in every town. But in this town, and in this world, I'm the dog. Woo-hoo! Remember, Adrian. Thanks for watching.